Hello YouTubers, my name is Axe Factor, and here's a fun little fact when it comes to myself, my playstyle in Battlefield 4. I have over 1,500 combined kills with the U-100, the LMG that I'm using right now, and the G36, aka G-Dirty-6. I know, two OP weapons, right? We all know the U-100 does not strike the fear in the hearts of the enemies, and it's something you probably shouldn't use at close range like this right here. Simply because it has a low mag size, 46 if you get a full reload, 45 if it's empty, and it only shoots 590 rounds a minute. And I'm kind of hiding right here, trying to figure out what to do with this Amtrak, because I just spawned into the server. I was wondering, wait a minute, why is everybody sitting back in the hills and are uncapped? And I started looking around and just seeing all the snipers on their team, which is never a good sign, no matter what game mode you're playing or a map. If your team's loaded up with snipers in their vehicles, you're gonna have a really bad time. It's really important to switch over to NG or Assault or Support when your team really needs it. So is the U-100 that bad? No, it's manageable at medium and longer ranges, and that's where this thing really succeeds at. Simply because it doesn't have very much horizontal recoil, very manageable vertical recoil, and the spread is very, very manageable. That allows you to 4, 5, 6 round burst or 3 or 4 round burst repeatedly and be extremely accurate. This thing is like the anti-head glitch gun for the LMG class. It's not something you can really spam and spray. It's something that you definitely want to take your time, set your shot up, and burst properly. As I'm trying to kind of reflank this right side, one thing that happens in Rush, that happens all the time, is you've got both your MCOMs still going on the defenders. They set one MCOM, everybody goes to rush to that MCOM. Then guess what happens? Then you lose the MCOM you just ran from. So sometimes it's wise to know when not to go to that MCOM and just simply give it up and not sacrifice both your MCOMs. And that clip before, you saw where the close range of this thing really falls apart. If that would have been a faster shooting LMG like an MG4 or something else, or something with more damage like the M240B, we'd have been all right. And here you kind of see some of the power of the U-100 at range. You just give up a lot of firepower. Up close is basically what I'm saying. But again, if you play into the strengths and not the weaknesses of this weapon, you could do all right. But again, that 46 or 45, depending on how you reload, goes really fast, and hip firing isn't your biggest friend because you simply don't have that rate of fire. This is something I do no matter if it's Rush or Conquest. I tend to envelop an area. I tend to extend the angles, and this is where you see kind of the power of the U-100 at these longer lanes, these longer lines of sight. But you have to be careful against snipers and DMR users. A lot of times you'll see me stop, shoot, and then strafe again, then stop, then shoot, then strafe again, unless I got a bunch of people lined up. And that right there is where you see that low mag count really hurt you. Gotta force a reload, come back on point. So what would make the U-100 more effective and less painful to use in Battlefield 4, in my opinion? Simply put a drum mag on this thing and keep the reload somewhat snappy. Not like a lethargic, sluggish reload like the M240B, but something quick like the AWS, because again, this thing doesn't have the best rate of fire, so it's not like you're going to have this close quarters powerhouse like we do with a lot of other LMGs, assault rifles, carbines in the game. You're going to have something that's very, very effective at medium and longer ranges as long as you're not strafing and shooting. And there you see a perfect example where I strafe out, stop, and then shoot. Usually the worst thing that you could do is continue strafing while shooting at the longer ranges. It just gives you too much penalty, and that's exacerbated by a lot of the assault rifles or fast rate of fire guns. Anything that's north of 850 or so is going to have a lot of problems when strafing and shooting, especially at those longer ranges. So it's all about collecting your composure, stopping, popping, shooting, and then moving. The only time I really strafe around is when I'm doing that dance up close and I think I need a dodge, maybe an incoming sniper shot. And there is the G-Dirty-6, a weapon that we used a lot on the live stream in combination with the U-100, because if the armor isn't down, I'm going to spawn engineer. People ask me all the time, hey, do you not play medic anymore? You always see you playing engineer on live stream. Any sort of vehicle-based round, especially on Conquest, 95% chance I'm going to be rolling engineer the majority of that round. I'm not the type of guy to load into a server or a map and say, oh, I'm only going to play this class or this kit the entirety of that round. I'm always looking at the mini map or the deploy screen to see Is there armor rolling in? Is there armor at the next point that I might be going to? What do I really need to jump into? As you see me finish off a few guys at range with the G36C. So I've got 1,500 kills plus with these two weapons. Obviously, they need a little love because you rarely see them on the battlefield. They're pretty good at medium and long range, but they've got a lot of shortcomings up close. And of course, you can't be great at all three. The question is this: what weapons are you most proud of in Battlefield 4? And how many kills do you have with those? So we've got these guys down to 1,500 tickets. Back to the U-100. Can we hold them off? We get their armor down, and we're starting to push back out. Remember, if you're playing Conquest or Rush, there's a bunch of red guys on the mini-map or bad guys in front of you. Remember, find a hole and poke it. Try to exploit that lane, blow it up, and get your flank on. Maybe some squad mates can spawn on you, and you can do a little damage together as I'm trying to prioritize my targets, try to finish off kills, and not get shot in the face is basically the name of the game. As always, YouTubers, thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out. We will see you guys soon.